Okay, so I want to show how to sand off the top of the concrete, and this should really be done to any concrete because the sealer will stick to it better and it will open up any little holes that are maybe just under the surface. That way they can be filled with a slurry. So the traditional way is just to sand with sandpaper. That doesn't work very well because you can only do a small area before this sandpaper is no longer a 200 grit. It would then be too smooth. So you lose the ability to really get a good bond with the sealer if you kept using this. So you have to constantly change these. The other problem is these don't take very well if they get wet. Concrete always works better if you sand it when wet. So these are our electroplated diamond pads. We've got them at 5 grits, from a 30 all the way up to a 400. Normally I don't use a 400. Most of the sealers work better with a 200. So I'll start with a 200 or the 220. These can go on a polisher or on just a regular sander. It's important to make sure you don't have any grit on here or dirt or sand, because that gets, if you get a piece of sand trapped under this, then it can dig in a little deeper than you want. So make sure that you get off anything loose before you start. So I'm going to sand just this half versus that. So after sanding for just a second, you can assess whether or not this pad is going to cut down as far as you want. If you have high ridges that it's not touching, then you can change and then try the 100. If that doesn't do it, then go to the 60. If that doesn't work, you go to the 30. But if you go to those, then you got to step backwards. So after you sand this with 30, then you got to sand with 60, then you got to sand with 120, and then stop with the 220, and then you can finish it. So it's doing a pretty good job. There's a few little low spots there that'll take a little while with this, so I am going to switch up to the 100. But another nice thing about these pads is that they can be used with water. You don't need a special polisher to do that, all you need is water, so I usually just like to use a sponge. Up to 200. So that's all it takes. The more that I keep sanding, the more of the sand it will expose, but this is about like I like. Feels smooth as glass, which is area not sanded. So it's really easy, quick process. There's also other pads for the other needs, such as a hard corner. These rigid pads work really well if you're If it's a flexible piece, then it allows you to get down into corners better. And an edge like this that has the the rock edge. It moves a little bit. Just having a little flex lets it follow that contour rather than just taking off the high spots and leaving the low spots still there. And then the little triangle ones are good for a tight area, as well as putting on a multi-tool and actually running them on a machine. So that's how you finish it up really quickly and easily, and then these pads will, after sanding a big area, go exactly the same, so they last for a long, long time.